Welcome back. Today we'll be fixing a copy of Pokémon Blue that when seated in place it won't work, but when you pull it out slightly it will. Let's fix those pins. So this is a rather unique problem that I haven't seen before. When you seat the cartridge all the way into the Game Boy, as one does when playing on a Game Boy, it won't run properly, and as you can see, the Nintendo logo is all screwed up too. But when you just pull it out slightly, it runs great and even has a working save file when booted up. I'm guessing it has some issues with the pins not contacting properly, but let's open it up and find out. Yep, there's some debris of some kind on a few of the pins, and I bet that fourth pin from the right is the real issue here. On a quick side note, if you ever open up one of these carts and are wondering if it's an original one, another way to check is to verify the code on the back of the ROM chip matches the code on the front of the label. Just another quick check to be able to tell the real ones from the fake ones. I'm going to first try scrubbing that debris off the pins with a Q-tip and some IPA to see if that takes care of it. While I'm here, I'll go through and clean the whole board too, might as well. That didn't seem to really get it off, so I'm going to carefully scratch it off with a small flathead screwdriver. Now that worked pretty well. It must have either been some light corrosion or some kind of buildup, since underneath it still looks pretty bright and shiny. But just to make sure I got it all off, I'm going to use some 320 grit sandpaper to buff those spots up a little bit more. Just need to be careful not to buff the traces on the board and scratch off any areas that I don't want to. Then clean it all up again to pick up any of the sanding dust. It still has a small spot of discoloration there, so I'm going to test to make sure the two pins are still connected to the small traces above with a multimeter. Looks like they're all good though. Let's test it out and see if that fixed it. And it did fix it. I'm going to take the cart out and pop it back in a few times just to make sure though. It looks like it is all good and that fixed the problem. I'm going to do a quick save battery swap and test to make sure the save functions work properly too. Now let's do a little light cleaning to make it shine again. I like using glass cleaner for this since it isn't a very strong chemical and gets rid of dirt and dust easily. But as I'm cleaning, I'm making sure not to scrub on the label at all since it is paper and will tear or fade if I push into it really hard. Just a little light wipe of the label is fine unless it has a lot of dirt on it. If you like this kind of content, I would love it if you subscribed and hit the like button on your way to another video. I'd be very grateful and it really helps promote my channel. Thank you for your support and we'll see you next fix.